Well, folks, here we are again for the weekly forecast. Before we get to the main forecast, let's take a look back at this last week. And we had talked about this upper level trough moving out of the northern Rockies and then diving into the central plains. That's primarily what happened during this last week, although it did dig a little bit deeper toward the south, and hence our precipitation output that was generated by the models didn't really verify to the extent that it was initially forecasted. Whereas we were expecting 1 to 1.5 inch broad base across the eastern third of the state, really we had to get down to the southeast corner to get that much moisture, as the vast majority of that precipitation fell across a good portion of eastern Kansas and then points southward. So the convection actually robbed the moisture being transported toward the north. And in the northwest, we did see some light snow and freezing rain, but no significant accumulation. So overall, with this warm weather coming in this weekend, I would think that we'll have some fairly decent weather, at least for a couple days, to get back out in the fields and do some corn harvest. Unfortunately, once again, another storm system enters the picture as we go into next week and has the potential to generate a little bit of light moisture around the region. But right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be a significant event for the vast majority of the state. So let's take a look at the upper air models and see how this week will progress. And the first thing I'll draw your attention to is the trough responsible for all of our inclement weather and cool conditions during the midweek period has now shifted toward the east. And when in its place, we're seeing ridging building, and it's going to strengthen as this trough in the west starts to dig into the central Rockies. So we have a couple nice days in front of us. The warmest day is probably going to be tomorrow as we get the southwest flow aloft. That's going to bring some southerly winds. And as this trough builds in, it's moving fast enough that it's not going to have enough time to bring a significant slug of moisture into our region. So we are expecting clouds to start increasing late Sunday in the western part of the state. And by the time we get to Monday, this trough will start to dig a little bit deeper, and we'll start to see the clouds overrun the state. And the surface cold front will start entering Monday night into the northwestern part of the state, so we'll start to see a rather sharp cool down, but the warmer temperature will remain in place across southeast Nebraska probably into Tuesday and possibly into even Wednesday. But as this trough deepens, all the moisture from the Gulf is going to be shunted for the most part to the east of us. So there is energy here. It will generate the potential for some light precipitation. But as we get on the back side of this system, particularly on Wednesday, we might actually even generate a little bit of light snow, and we could see some accumulations from northeast Nebraska through central Nebraska, and maybe just a mix of rain and snow in eastern Nebraska, particularly during the overnight hours. By the time we get to Thursday, that system just takes off toward the northeast, and we see yet another trough starting to build into the western United States, and that should help build our temperatures as we move into the later part of the week. And once again, we see that trough building and the ridge in front of it bringing up that warm air, so we'll rebound rather dramatically in terms of temperature. So here's the forecast for the next 5 days. You'll notice that we'll see some nice warm temperatures, that increasing chance of precipitation during the midweek with cool conditions, and then a gradual warm up as we move toward the end of the week. Now, as we go into the 8 to 14 day forecast from next Thursday through following Tuesday, we'll notice that we're right here in the normal range in terms of precipitation. Shows below normal, but with that storm system coming in, I think this may be underplayed in regards to the precipitation forecast.